You just finished a meal. A good one. Pasta, maybe. Or a big Sunday lunch. And now, almost without warning, your eyelids are getting heavy. Your thoughts are slowing down. Your couch is calling you by name. You tell yourself, I'll just rest my eyes for 5 minutes. And 2 hours later, you wake up confused about what year it is. Beat, slight smile. Sound familiar? This feeling even has a scientific name. Postprandial somnolence, or as basically everyone else calls it, the food coma. And today we're going to find out exactly what's happening inside your body when it hits, because the real answer is far more fascinating than you think. First, let's clear something up. Feeling sleepy after eating is completely normal. It happens to nearly every human being on the planet. It happens to other mammals too. In fact, my researchers who study sleep, yes, that's a job, have documented post-meal drowsiness across dozens of species. So if you've ever felt guilty about nodding off after dinner, you can let that go. You're not lazy, you're just biological. But why does it happen? What is your body actually doing? To answer that, we need to start with the myth that almost everyone believes, and that almost everyone gets wrong. Ask most people why they feel sleepy after eating, and they'll say something like, because all your blood rushes to your stomach to digest the food, and your brain gets less blood so you feel tired. It sounds completely reasonable. It's also not quite right. Yes, blood flow does increase to your digestive system after a meal. Your gut needs oxygen and nutrients to power the process of breaking down your food. But here's the thing, your body doesn't just rob your brain to do that. Your brain gets a protected blood supply. It's one of the most tightly regulated systems in the human body. If your brain's blood supply dropped every time you ate a sandwich, you'd pass out. Regularly, you'd be dangerous to take to restaurants. Small laugh, then back to business. So if it's not blood flow, what is it? Well, it turns out there are several things happening simultaneously, and they all work together to push you towards sleep. Let's start with insulin. When you eat, especially carbohydrates, your blood sugar rises. Your pancreas responds by releasing insulin, a hormone whose job is to move that sugar from your bloodstream into your cells. But insulin does something else that most people don't know about. It causes most amino acids in your blood to get absorbed into your muscles. Most of them, but not all of them. There's one amino acid that insulin largely ignores. Tryptophan. You've probably heard of tryptophan. It's the thing people blame for falling asleep after Thanksgiving dinner. And while the turkey-tryptophan connection is a bit overstated, more on that in a moment, tryptophan itself is genuinely important here. With the other amino acids cleared out of the blood, tryptophan has less competition to cross the blood-brain barrier, and once it's in the brain, it gets converted, first into serotonin and then into melatonin. And melatonin, of course, is the hormone that makes you feel sleepy. So the chain looks like this. You eat carbs, insulin spikes, competing amino acids drop, tryptophan crosses into the brain, serotonin and melatonin rise, you feel drowsy. Pause for effect. Your meal just quietly triggered your sleep system from the inside. But that's only part of the picture, because your gut isn't just a tube that breaks down food. It's an incredibly sophisticated communication system, sometimes called the second brain, and it talks to your actual brain constantly. When you eat, your gut releases a cascade of hormones. One of the most important is called cholecystokinin, or CCK. It's released by your small intestine when food arrives, and it signals to the brain, we've been fed, we're good, you can relax now. There's also a hormone called glucagon-like peptide 1, or GLP-1, which you might recognize as the target of medications like Ozempic, that reduces appetite and has calming, even sedating effects on the nervous system. And then there's the vagus nerve, a long, wandering nerve that connects your brainstem to your gut, your heart, your lungs. When your stomach is full, the vagus nerve carries that signal up to the brain, and one of the brain's responses, dial down alertness. In other words, your body genuinely interprets a full stomach as a signal to wind down. Evolutionarily, this makes sense. You've found food, you've eaten, the hunt is over. Rest. Here's something that might surprise you. Your body already expected you to feel sleepy after lunch. It's actually built into your daily rhythm. Humans have a natural dip in alertness in the early afternoon, typically between 1 and 3 p.m. This isn't because of what you ate for lunch. This dip exists even if you skip lunch entirely. It's part of your circadian rhythm, your body's internal 24-hour clock. Researchers believe this mid-afternoon slump may be an evolved feature, not a bug. In many cultures around the world, the midday rest, the siesta, has been a practice for thousands of years. And it's not just tradition. Studies have shown that short naps of 10 to 20 minutes can significantly improve alertness, mood, and cognitive performance. So when you eat lunch right in the middle of this natural energy trough, the food coma effect gets amplified. The meal isn't causing the drowsiness alone, it's combining with your body clock to produce a double hit. Not all meals knock you out equally, and there's a reason for that. Meals that are high in carbohydrates, especially refined carbs like white rice, white bread, pasta, sugary foods, trigger a bigger insulin spike, which means more tryptophan crossing into the brain, more melatonin, more drowsiness. Meals that are high in fat take longer to digest, which means your gut is working longer, sending more satiety signals over a longer period. That sustained effort can also prolong the sleepy feeling. Alcohol makes everything worse. It's a central nervous system depressant on top of everything else your body is already doing. And large meal sizes? More food means more gut hormones released, more vagus nerve stimulation, more signals telling your brain to rest. A small light snack rarely causes a food coma. A giant holiday feast? That's a different story. Now, about that turkey and tryptophan thing. Turkey does contain tryptophan, but so does chicken, beef, cheese, eggs, and most protein-rich foods. The reason Thanksgiving dinner makes you sleepy isn't the turkey specifically, it's the enormous amount of carbohydrates alongside it. The stuffing, the rolls, the pie, the insulin surge, that's doing the heavy lifting. For most people, the food coma is just an inconvenience, annoying if you have a 2 p.m. meeting, but not harmful. However, there are cases where persistent severe post-meal fatigue can be a sign of something worth looking into. People with type 2 diabetes or prediabetes often experience more pronounced fatigue after eating, particularly after high carbohydrate meals, because their bodies struggle to manage blood sugar effectively. If you notice that your post-meal sleepiness is unusually intense, consistent, or accompanied by other symptoms like excessive thirst or frequent urination, it's worth talking to a doctor. Similarly, people with reactive hypoglycemia, where blood sugar drops too sharply after a meal, can experience fatigue, brain fog, and shakiness within a couple of hours of eating. For the vast majority of people, though, the occasional food coma is completely benign. It's your body doing its job and doing it well. Alright, so if you don't want to fall asleep in your afternoon meeting, what can you actually do? Number 1. Eat smaller, more balanced meals. Big meals mean big hormone surges. Smaller meals with a mix of protein, fiber, and healthy fats produce a more gradual, stable response. Less spike, less crash. Number 2. Reduce refined carbs at lunch. Swap the white bread sandwich for whole grain. Skip the sugary drink. The slower your blood sugar rises, the less dramatic the insulin response, and the less tryptophan crosses into your brain mid-afternoon. Number 3. Move a little after eating. Even a 10-minute walk after a meal has been shown to blunt blood sugar spikes and keep you more alert. Your muscles use glucose when you move, which takes some of the burden off insulin. Number 4. Don't fight the nap. Use it smartly. If you have the option to rest, a 10 to 20-minute nap is genuinely restorative. Anything longer and you risk entering deep sleep, which leaves you groggy and disoriented when you wake up. Set an alarm. Keep it short. Nap like a professional. Number 5. Light and caffeine. Bright light exposure suppresses melatonin. Go outside after lunch, sit near a window, or even just turn up your office lights. And if you're going to have a coffee, time it well. The caffeine takes about 20 to 30 minutes to kick in, so having it right after a meal means it'll be working by the time the food coma tries to hit. So there you have it. The food coma is not laziness. It's not weak willpower. It's a beautifully coordinated biological response. Insulin, tryptophan, serotonin, melatonin, gut hormones, vagus nerve signals, and your own circadian rhythm all working together to say, we've been fed. Rest. Your body is honestly quite impressive, even when it's putting you to sleep without your permission. Lean back, relax close. If you found this interesting, there's a whole lot more where that came from. We've covered the science of sleep, why you dream, what happens to your brain when you're hungry, and why stress makes you crave junk food. Links are in the description. Subscribe if you want more videos like this. We put one out every week. Drop a comment below and tell me, are you a food coma survivor or have you somehow cracked the code? I'm genuinely curious. Until next time, stay curious, eat well, and maybe set an alarm before that nap.